Ashton Kutcher and Dax Shepard dish on balding, drinking, and robot sex in Candid Podcast. Ashton Kutcher and Dax Shepard havenbsp lotnbsp tonbsp say. In a recent interview on Shepard's new podcast, nbsp, the 43-year-old actor and former That 70s Show star discussed everything under the sun. From drinking and drugs, to fatherhood, to robot sex. Didn't you hear about this robot? That you can now have sex with a robot, Kutcher asked. But the question that was at the table over New Year's dinner, is it cheating when you have sex with a robot, or is that just masturbation? Kristen can have a f***ing robot boyfriend. That's so easy for me to answer, Shepard said. After voicing their stances on robot love, Kutcher, who says he was never heavily into drugs, shared some background on the matter. When I was in high school and college, I smoked weed some, and did mushrooms and tried acid, and did some various things that were expansive for me at the time, he revealed. So, I did a ton of that fun stuff when I was younger. And then when I went to college, I was like, I'm done. I think that I smoked weed like one time, when I was in college, and then after I dropped out and moved to Los Angeles. Kutcher continued, and so I didn't do drugs. I had entered into a pretty long run of sobriety from drugs, and I didn't really drink that much. If we went out during the weekends, I would drink, but I always kind of had a school night rule. If I had work the next day, I wasn't really going to. And I bent it a couple times here and there, but for the most part I really had a relatively sober living. And while Kutcher may have tried to maintain a healthy lifestyle, it unfortunately didn't help his thinning hair. You've gotten off of Propecia and I just think that's so risky of you, Shepard said to Kutcher, before sharing his onnbsp history with hair loss. I had heard that there was this doctor that would give you hair as thick as Brad Pitt's, and I was going to this guy, and I was doing it for 2 years, and I was like, what am I doing? I think we both went to this doctor. Kutcher laughed. I've gone off of anything to retain my hair. I started getting very concerned when I was 25, and that's when I went on the Avodart. And I think like 5 years ago I stopped, and I did really good for a year, and now it's thinning out. Despite his receding hairline, Kutcher is embracing the change. I've actually become comfortable with it. I'm just good with it. I've got kids now. On the topicnbsp to fatherhood, Shepard, who hasn't been married tonbsp wifenbsp Kristen Bellnbsp since 2013, joked that he doesn't mostnbsp of the work. I really will say I do 50% of the shit with these kids, he quipped. I definitely change more than my share of diapers, and havenbsp exceeded what I think my father certainly did. But the one thing that now has evolved, and I thank Belle so much for this, is she now gets up with the kids. Because I'll get up with them, but then I'm up for another 40 minutes. She can get up and then come back to sleep, and she's out in 30 seconds. And then we just realized I just can't do it because I'll be up all night long. As for Kutcher and wife Mila Kunis's boss schedule, the actor shared some details on how they make it work. nbsp, we both get up every morning. In the middle of the night, we flipped it back and forth. Because she was breastfeeding the kids, havenbsp did way more than her share. I would say probably 80/20ths, because she could go and breastfeed them and put them back down when they were little. I mean, now they don't wake up at night, which is good. Nothing like two dads sharing stories and talking life, am I right?